What's crackalackin, folks? Welcome back to Factorio. Welcome to our base. And I stand here at the location of where we started our hour zero of our Pyanodons alternative energy run. Right here, these two little patches were all we had. No science, no nothing. And in 100 hours, we got to this monstrosity here. On the right side, more belt than base, but a lot of spaghetti in here, especially pipe spaghetti, our expansion to the left to the first rock hole, and aluminium, and then to the top to sink. So let's take a look at what this base is comprised of before we get back to growing it. So we started around here. Our first science was here where all this empty space is. And you can see there was a stone patch that we mined completely dry. Let's clean that up real quick. And we dealt with our first kerogen here once we had the technology to actually move it into another product than just burn it. Our very first wood processing unit made to make our first plant the boxes for science. Our first coal patch is still up and running. It's still powering some of our things here. A lot of the base is still powered by this coal patch, for example. Our very first start into the foray of tar was over here. We started in some DDCs making coal gas from coal. Input coal, iron oxide, coke, coal gas, and tar come out. And that's also when we tapped our first coal field over here. That lasted us, it's lasting us until now. Only like one miner is really run out. And our first area, our first power plant over here, where we had like 5 of these arrays that take one full belt of raw coal and convert it into a measly, I think, 50 megawatts of power if they're fully running. Then dealing with all the ash, and output is the soot, and in the beginning we stored it, and in the end we just said, okay, it's time to burn it. Actually here we're running full on coal dust now, so we probably... Why is there coal dust in here actually? We should move all of that coal dust in here so it's distributed to the burner. Oh well. Something to consider later when this is full. For now we should probably... Yeah, let's not worry about it. Something to put on a to-do list. Fix coal dust issue in first power plant. Not that it's doing much anymore. We now have hooked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 geothermal power plants that give us a gigawatt of power. So if we look at our power now, with all what we have available, we're around 1.4 gigawatts of power. Yeah, I thought I did that, but then this ran full and I just exported everything out here and I probably forgot to set the filters. So yeah, at some point I need to come back and move all that coal dust back in here so it gets prioritized as it's set up to be done. But yeah, I'm not actually doing it. So yeah. So after that, we went to, on the left side, we started to make coke oven gas and our first foray into hot air up here, where we make hot air for our glass furnaces. We ventured out to claim our second iron patch here, where we started making iron with the first available method to crush it into processed iron ore, and eventually we got to the point where we now can make molten iron and have a full 15 per second setup going here. We also had to venture out quite far to get quartz, to get tin and antimony ore. We're all the way down here, all by their lonesome, are our tin and antimony mines. working along tirelessly. And then when we went back into the base, one of the first things we started is dealing with the tar, and that started a whole mess by itself. You can see here we went into syngas then, from the abundant coal gas into syngas. These are our first moss fields that we used to build our first trees into the first science. Our first smelter array for iron, and the first smelter array for copper. The very beginnings, no splitters. We had to manually split the ash and the copper apart into our start of the little mall. And this mall was built in the beginning and is still standing strong. It still supplies us with pipes, with inserters, and with belts to this moment. Now the big mess that is tar came to begin. We started splitting all the tar into creosote and pitch and light oil, and started storing that in tailings ponds. And then it expanded from here on. First we added the conversion of pitch into coke, and most importantly anthracene and naphthalene oil. Then expanded this to make gasoline out of the anthracene oil. We added more tar processing so we can produce more liquids. We added gasoline storage and started using that as our fuel. And then we made aromatics from the light oil, and to also make plastic. That was a whole journey that grew up here. Also the gasifiers that make, how's it called? Acetylene. We expanded down here to make even more acetylene for mining ores. We squeezed in the antimony building here, and a whole lot of spaghetti followed back here with expanding to a second iron patch, expanding our moon drops down here to squeeze them in here, squeezing some more of the seaweed here after we started with 2 initial patches. And then the next step was really going to the direction of first simple circuit boards. Also, these melters here were afterwards squeezed in for tin, for lead, and for titanium. We wiggled some room in for the sap scaling. And then we started getting started with preparations for the simple circuit boards. We started with air co-inductors, made our way through all of the electronic parts, down to the first copper zinc batteries, where getting zinc was quite a drama because zinc was all the way over here. We had to search for quite a bit before we found it. And then it used aromatics, which are also right now currently pretty low on, which one of the to-do items is to fix that going forward. Then we got into seaweed, into moondrops to make us some methane, convert that into formaldehyde, and finally get our formica to make our first printed circuit substrates. And we got to the point where we actually could make simple circuit boards. And right now we're short on copper zinc batteries again, so scaling zinc is also one of our next tasks ahead. Our first processing of ash started here, and then it grew from the second side on the bottom. We brought ash in and just expanded this section here, expanded it down here. And then when we brought stone in, we added the kerogen processing as well. Why is this not running, by the way? That is a good question. You're full. You're full. Are you full on something? You're full on heavy oil because I probably disconnected a pipe. Or why are you full? Yeah, you're not full. It goes all the way to here, so why are you full? Is the pump facing the wrong direction, or what's going on? Let us see. You see the factory is working. As soon as you look at it, it stops working. We have 1.6 thousand. The pump is... Oh, there's light oil stuck in there. That is what happened. So now it can actually pump the heavy oil again, and we suddenly gained 8,000 heavy oil. Well, and now the carriage and the stone can flow again. Our second stage copper production came down here, where we crushed or sort and crushed them. We tapped our first stone field all the way in the bottom here next to the titanium. A little stone field that has lasted for a very long time. Now it's outputting around 15 per second right now as it's dying. All right, because the carriage is backing up, but it should supply 15 per second stone and 15 per second carriage. And then the carriage is being processed here. We're still stopped because of heavy oil. Why are the pipes still full? Is there still some light oil that's... Yeah. I can't purge it from... I can't purge it from the pipes because it says there's no light oil in there, but somehow light oil made it in there. So I kind of need to babysit this one pump that seems to catch some light oil that snuck in there from time to time, which is really annoying. I think we have drained all the light oil out of here until it's broken again, as usual. All right, we have to keep an eye on this. I think this was all the light oil because nothing is backed up here anymore. But the new fluid system is also interesting. It works in mysterious ways. Because you can accidentally mix fluids and then they're not in the pipe and they get stuck somewhere and then they appear somewhere else and you're like, how did it make it all the way across without mixing or having any issues? Then we started doing our first moss, and that moss started up here with just a few buildings, and then we scaled it all the way down here to the bottom and over here to have more moss than we hopefully need. It was time to go into our first animals, the Rauks. We started small with just one reproductive complex and 2 Rauk paddocks, and also later scaled that down to a total of 12 Rauk paddocks that made us our good formic acid to make more latex. And with that latex, we finally got to the point that we could make these rubber stoppers and get our first PyScience Pack 1. This is also where we set up shop for our science production. I just squeezed in the new science production for our automation science pack as well, which is right now struggling with stone because there's no stone coming in. But overall, it's going well. We're still backed up on logistics science packs, actually, and we're not short on anything. I think the issue is more passing it through the factory fast enough from lab to lab. So we may have to put yellow inserters here so they make it actually to the end of the lab chain before they're consumed. Next up was setting up all the creature chamber and the botanical nursery things that we needed to get our first new animals. I think the Rauks, we just built something up here in the corner, slapped down a few buildings. You see the power poles remaining from there, and got our first Rauks. And then now I said, okay, let's make especially the moss gene sample and the generic, how they called, the generic Earth DNA samples automated. We should have a few of them here. Yeah, 21 left. And have a place for all the breeding of our new animals. Right now, you can see last one we looked at was cotton guts. And then we finally got to the technology to make rails. And I got really excited because I love rails in trains in Factorio. I love to build train bases. But little did I know how far we are really away from that. And now we're short on solder for our nice rail ramps, of which we need plenty of. Solder is made over here still from tin plates and lead plates. So let's see what's the holdup here, if I can find it. Lead plates. I didn't have to deal with lead in a very long time. The first patch really did us well. I didn't have to upgrade it, but maybe it's time to upgrade lead to finally the next mining drills. And also user of our acetylene, which we built a lot of. Acetylene is used as our main fuel for fueling these furnaces in addition to gasoline. Here we have the first Nexilite product. We got out here, got our Nexilite, got the little Digosauruses to dig for us. Right now they're out of food. Interesting. What is our worker food doing? It is being empty because it probably just got picked up. Yeah, it's about to be picked up. So we got to our first Nexilite smelting things, the Iron Nexilite Antimony Special Alloy. What a handful. Made some vitriloy, and then our first into metallics. Then I realized, okay, we need a few more things to make trains work, stations and chain and normal rail signals. But it turns out 50 hours later, we're still not on rails. We just have planned that we want to go on rails up here, that we want to put down a station here as our entry point. And that is kind of all the planning that has happened for trains so far. But you know, we had a lot of time to build up rails. We finally got the nice power poles with chromium involved. So we started mining chromium. We went onto the big things for mechanical parts, the brakes, the shafts and everything. We started fishes because we needed the fish oil for the gearboxes, and started making trains and the wagons for it. Way too early, still aren't using them at all whatsoever. And we started making rubber. Rubber was the biggest struggle for a very long time because it needs latex and it needs polybutadiene, which comes from aromatics, and both of them we were very short on. So later we had to fix that by building a whole new Rauch setup with the second recipe that now takes Rauch food. And here we can see we're pretty successful in breeding them, but not so successful in slaughtering them. I think we need a few more cages, or we just need to work faster. Actually, our processing is kind of stuck because these are full and the composter can't compost fast enough. So we need a few more composters here to fix that issue. So we can actually get rid of all this stuff. Guts should have filled up by now as well. Not quite. What is most? What do you have most of? Meat, I would assume. Yeah, we have all that meat that is full, and we need a ton more composters to get rid of it. I thought they were way faster, but turns out that was not the case. So after we started with rubber and got our first rubber every couple minutes or so, we started making the laboratory equipment to automate cDNA, and that was a struggle to actually have a decent amount of that here. To this day, we only have 19 stored up. So what's going on? What are you missing? You're missing retrovirus, and you are missing Rauch cocoons. Yep, and that's the thing. We don't really make an excess of Rauch cocoons, and so none of them are really delivered. Actually, there's also an issue with the belt here. That may be one of the reasons why I never got Rauch cocoons delivered here. There you go, much better. So let's hope they arrive and we get more cDNA. Good we're making this base tour because I'm spotting issues left, right, and center. We finally got to the Augs, our good old bears that gave us blood as one of the main ingredients. And the other thing the Augs do is produce manure, which we can put into liquid manure and finally get cyanic acid and ammonia. That allowed us to go to melamine and finally into the real batteries. With the real batteries, we were finally able to make the mechanical parts that unlocked some key buildings that we wanted to build. And I think most importantly, the construction bots. We didn't need them, but we needed like all predecessors. Right now we have 50 construction bots. I think we're going to go to let's say 100, 200, 300. Because we're getting close to unlocking actual logistic spots, which means we can also have them in a network, because the current versions of the RoboPorts we have, you can't actually put robots in there. They're just extenders for the build radius, but they're not RoboPorts themselves, so they can't hold robots, which is very interesting. Here was our failed attempt to build transport belts from rubber. Yeah, that didn't work out too well. And why is that? We have no rubber because I cut the belt short. So we should get more belts again soon. And we probably want to upgrade these to a bit faster speeds. What is this taking for actually? Oh, this is the output. I see. Well, more belts hopefully in the future for these parts. And you are full, so we give you maybe 2 inserters. And there we go. More belts to make robots and make actual transport belts, which we will need quite a few. If we want to fill this up, currently it is about 90,000 belts. So it's going to be a task for the robots for sure. We started with Releasias that were actually pretty easy to scale. I still have to put down these. I forgot totally. But they are currently scaled to a proportion where it's fine. Everything is working as it should. We got fiberboard and starch. Finally into breeding our first cotton gut studs. And now to this point, we always have filled an entire box. We can scale the cotton guts as we see fit. We're still breeding more studs, and we even have a bunch of pups that we can use to kickstart another place. Now for the cotton guts, we started with a brand new build of moondrops just to feed them, because the existing moondrops were all used immediately for making methane here, and we didn't really have any moondrop production beyond that. So we started a brand new moondrop factory here, or farm, and then got cotton guts here. And even though the build isn't fully finished, we have plenty of cotton guts. You see they're like stopped. We've overproduced for what we do in science. And they are not getting slaughtered because they're much more important in science. But I guess we could start slaughtering them. But here's the problem. We already have too much stuff that we get from slaughtering, and I need to put down a ton more composters to actually get rid of it. We don't have much use for these things yet. So we just make compost out of it and burn it, or make flue gas out of it and then get rid of it. And then finally, we got to logistic science. These were the last steps that were missing to get us to logistic science. I think the first science pack, let's look at Milestones. We got the first science pack 11 hours ago at 89 hours and 17 minutes. And less than 10 hours later, we actually completed the first 1,000 of them. So we had a good buffer of all the materials. Rubber was really what was holding us back a long time. And after we completed that, we said, okay, it's time to fix the rubber issue. And we built this giant Rauk setup here. And pretty much everything is made right here to the left and then fed in here. We're relying on very few things from the belt. It's things like stone, which isn't coming right now because we had this issue with the heavy oil. And my question is, do we still have the same issue? Now we have an issue with light oil. Interesting. Do you have that issue as well over here? No, you don't have that issue. Well, great. There is more to be debugged. Yeah, all of this is full. Take a look where we broke it. Here it's empty, and there's heavy oil in here, of course. Let's put a thing here and say, remove heavy oil from pump. Yeah, you can have fluid spaghetti, but it doesn't work out always. And I guess that's why they get stuck in the pump, because the pump then checks if it can flow forward or not. And that was pretty much it. We stopped. The last big thing we did were the Raux Mark II and a ginormous bus ahead of us. So what are the next steps? One of the next steps is just scaling things and then probably hopping onto trains and steamrolling to, let's see, where are they? The logistics spots. We are very close. Here are the logistics robots. We're very close. We need niobium, and then we're ready to go to logistics robotics. So we need more. Actually, I was planning on adding a few more other things that are useful on the way, like getting olefins cheaply. And I just realized I need microbiology for that. But overall, we're making good progress in research. 8 science per minute. It's going well. Kickalc, mostly for one recipe, and it is coal dust from raw fiber. Doesn't mean we have to get it from Kickalcs. It's the best recipe to do it from, but we can also just use wood where we have a ton of from, and then we need this coal dust in other things to make, I forgot what it was, I think activated carbon. And so in order to make activated carbon, you need coal dust, zinc chloride, sodium hydroxide, and nitrogen. And coal dust is surprisingly the hardest to come by, except, I mean, we do have an entire warehouse of coal dust here that we could potentially utilize for this purpose. We'll see. We have to get all the other crap to it, so we might as well burn it right now. All right, that was a quick base tour of the entire base here. This is 100 hours of Pi for me. Not the fastest player, I'd say, but also not the slowest. I think, the last time I played this, our last attempt, we were about 300 hours in when we made it to our mall. We should be much faster this time. So I'm excited to continue in the logistics science and balancing getting on trains, having enough stuff to build the trains, because I want to do a special 2-headed train setup. And for that, I have these interesting looking entrances and exits. And they need a lot of these bridge steps, like the ramps and the supports. And right now they're not looking too hot in terms of production. So let's take a look what is stopping them. Where was that? Somewhere here. Here it is. So what is stopping you? It is refined concrete, and it is refined concrete, and you are just slow. Yeah, I think you're just slow. That is the issue. Oh, concrete is slow because we missed sand. So we might have to put in another crusher here. Let's see if we can just make one real quick. We can. So let's fix that real quick if we can. Copy that recipe. And we should be able to use long-handed inserters for this job. And then just output on this side of the belt. And that was the wrong button. And do this. You need power, of course. You shall get power. If I find some power around us. How much do you produce? 3 per second. So we need like 2 yellow ones. The question is, where do I fit in another one? Actually, we can put one on the side. And power you. And there we go. More sand, hopefully. And that should eventually even out. We need this similar amount of gravel and sand, but I guess the production rates are different. And right now we're short on stone anyway, so it's gonna be slow for a second. Speaking of, where's this pump? 400 meters to the left. So let's go there and fix this heavy oil blockage we have in this pump. Should be right below us somewhere here. Is this still working? Yes, this is still working. Perfect. So we just need to unblock this pump and then babysit it maybe a bit to see if there's more heavy oil that got stuck. Here's the pump. I walked past it. I hope it's just a one-time thing. And they shouldn't be able to actually cross over each other, like into the wrong fluid. So light oil is gone. It seems to be draining fine. This is still looking good. Yep. So we have 48,000 heavy oil now, which is great because we need heavy oil for the sink processing. And sadly, not a lot of light oil. Actually, we have 24,000. That's not too bad. We can convert more light oil into aromatics and gasoline. Gasoline is also looking good at 192,000, but aromatics are still a little weak. At least we have 1,000, so that means our sink miners should be working again at full speed. They are, which is great. So we're getting actually 15 per second down here. So I did some planning in YAFC for upgrading this here from the simple smelting into the fancy one. And if we take a look at YAFC, then I can open it on my site. Then we can see for only 5 sink ore, we get 3 plates per second, which is more what we have now. And how much is actually a full belt? Is it 10 per second? Almost. It's like 9.5. Yeah, about 9.5 per second. So we can actually build 4 9.5 per second of sink ore and get 9.5 sink plates per second, which will be a huge boost to what we get right now. Because I think right now we're going to be, let's see where we are. We are at 0.8. So that's like an over 10 times increase of output. I guess, I don't know if it counts these ones, but it should count these ones even though they're not working. So that would be a 10 times increase. I think the issue was in YAF that this would need 75 heavy oil per second, which is not sustainable for us. Both of our shale oil things, I think, can do 25 per second. So if they would run 24/7, we would get 50 per second. So we can't keep up with this until we get to better oil processing. And that will take a few more researches. And then we probably want to put that onto the train network immediately as well. And that needs us getting rid of or addressing a few dependencies getting there. So light oil looks good as well again. All right, on to the next big project. I scaled cellulose for copper zinc batteries. Let's take a look what I did in the break real quick. Where were the copper zinc batteries? Over there. I put down all these cellulose producers here to scale for copper zinc production and upgraded this one to a blue factory just for us to run out of zinc. We get a little bit more now because the aromatics have recovered. But yeah, that should now keep up with the production of what this machine can do. But right now with zinc being slow, it's kind of looking a little drab. Let's look at simple circuit boards. If I could press the right button. We make about 6.1 per minute in the last hour. It spikes up to 10 per minute if the zinc plates come back in. Hopefully we see that this is going up again now that zinc is now running at 15 per second again. Or maybe that was that jump up here. It jumped from about like 5 per minute to about 10 per minute here. It could even go higher if we had enough sync. And that is one thing that we want to address. Science is still running at a good 8 to 9 per minute, which gives us good progress. And these technologies here will be key for the next things we build. Activated carbon will be important. Here, what is important? Light oil and olefins is important, especially the olefins are important. I don't know if we want to use the nichrome recipe because nichrome is pretty expensive at this stage. It is 8 chromium on 10 nickel plates just to get 1 nichrome. So it really doesn't scale well. We get better ones in blue science, I think, somewhat deep in blue science. But for now, that's all the nichrome we have. So we can get light oil and olefins from there to get more aromatics, and then olefins and organic, how's it called? Organic solvent, which you can also get from naphthalene and carbolic oil, which both of them right now we're converting into creosote, which we have tons of. So that would be a good research to get organic solvent. And then we have this one specifically to get to hydrocarbon cracking and reforming, which lets us to get olefins from next-lip plates and hydrogen and carbon dioxide, which are both relatively easy to get. We also can get gasoline from there. Right now we have a ton of gasoline, but it might be interesting to us to get more gasoline because a lot of these other recipes need gasoline. The oil-based ones need gasoline, a little bit of gasoline as catalyst. So we might have to look into making either cellulose-based one or olefin and light oil-based gasoline. All right, but for now, let's see if we can make this whole sink thing work. And I think we need a lot of buildings for that. Let's look at Yavk. We get in the ore and we need 12 ball mills into 3 impact crushers, 3 hydroclassifiers, 5 advanced foundries to make the molten sink, and then 1 casting unit. So where do we start with the ball mills? Let's see how many ball mills I can actually make here, or how expensive they are. We can make 1 whole ball mill and then we're out of iron, which is fine. How many small parts do we have? Yeah, let's load up on small parts. Let's load up on air conductors. Let's get rid of all the garbage we have in our inventory, like logs, stone, ash, all that stuff that we don't need. A random iron stick, we keep that because we may need it. Zinc ore, rubber. Yeah, all these things that don't need to be in the inventory. And let's grab a bunch of iron, because I have a feeling we need a lot of it. So where we also unlock molten steel, we unlock molten lead, which is something we can look at next. We unlocked nitrogen, nitrogen contaminate, nitrogen and oxygen from pressurized air. And we later get with filtration one that gives us pure nitrogen from this, or just nitrogen from all of this from the contaminated one as well, which gives us much more nitrogen for that. But it's kind of free, it's just buildings. We have unlocked kick elks, which we can make. I'm not going to make them right now. I think we have time with them. The coal dust from raw fiber is important. Clay and muddy sludge to rich clay is a nice direct recipe where you don't need ash anymore, but right now we don't need it. Pressurized air from nitrogen contaminate, which is interesting. So we could maybe get some pressurized air back from the contaminate to make more nitrogen so we don't have to void it. But yeah, back to the ball mills. They are in here. So where are they hiding? 8. So we can make 8 more, and then we're out of copper plates. Let's grab some more copper. And then we can make a whole total of 1 more. So we have 1, 9, 10. So we need 2 more. So we need a little bit of steel. Actually, we need 3 more if I remember correctly, we need 12.1. And I think we skipped that 0.1 and we just make 12. So we have 9, 10, 11, 12. Next, we need 3 impact crushers. I think they're in a different one. Yeah, they're here, and we need tint cable for that. And we need local radars because impact crushers apparently have a radar built in them so they can see inside, which means we need logs and stone, which both I just put away. Where are my trash chests? I mean treasure chests. And the impact crushers, we need 3, I think I said. We can make 4. Let me check again. Impact crushers, 3 and 3 hydroclassifiers. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And we're out of simple circuit boards. Yuck, they're very expensive on the simple circuit boards as well. Let's grab some new ones. Thankfully, this is going into the production of more circuit boards. So it is kind of good. It's good for the simple circuit boards. Let's grab more iron as well. There was only 150 that was in here. Oh, I guess I rated both of them. Okay, what is up next? We need 5 advanced foundries. They should be in here. We can make 3, and we need more stone. All these random buildings that need stone. 2 more. Then we're out of copper again. Can refill. And then the last building is 1 casting unit. And that should be all the buildings we need to get this sink going. The question is, where do we put it? I think back here should be enough space to get all this going. And we start with the 12 ball mills. How big are they? They're not too big. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. So they do fit in here, and we get, oh, they need iron sticks as well. So how many machines do we need to make iron sticks? We need 3 burner assembly machines to make the iron sticks. Let's make 3 of them. And I guess we can just put them here. Make some iron sticks. And what I learned is biodegradable fuel does not produce ash, which I didn't know that. I think the last time I played that maybe wasn't a thing yet, but that is amazing. So we're gonna take some wood here. If I had a splitter. Oh yeah, that's gonna take a while. Anyway, we're gonna take some wood here and bring that across as fuel. And yeah, I picked the path with the most power poles in the way. But so be it. Can't always win. All right. I need to go up here. Just to supply these with fuel. I guess I have 3 automated factories, but I don't know if I want to use them just for getting rid of 1 belt. So that's the fuel. We can actually share it with the iron. We have iron coming up here already somewhere. This is ash, but right next door, I think we have iron already coming up. Yeah, there's iron here. We can sneak away here. Can I reach? Come on, get closer. And then that should get us there. I can't forget to actually hook them up later, but I think when I place these down, I'm gonna remember. Oh, we're gonna craft a lot of small parts. I didn't see that, but oh well. Now we're committed. So this gets us to the iron sticks, and how many do they craft? So they need 2 per second as input, so we need yellow inserters here. And they have 4 per second as output. Well, that's going to be interesting, because we can fit 3 point something here, and we kind of need an additional one on the side. And you need 0.75, so one of these is sufficient, and 1.25 iron ore, so 2 of these. And then you output about 0.4, 0.7 in stuff that we will burn. Let's have 1 long-handed inserter as output, and we can copy that all the way down here. Now we have to figure out how to get these out of here. I think we can do the same trick more times. Just copy this, and we just do 2 on each side to keep it even. There we go. Those are our iron sticks. Extend that belt all the way to the end. And we need power as well. Let's actually turn on our robots so they can put down the things we have in our inventory. So I don't have to do that manually. That's very nice of them. Good. Power. And where's our next actual power connection? Is this actually connected to power? It is. Perfect. And now we're going to take this and flip it and rotate it to the other side. And we have 12 of them. And we turn that belt around. Yes, and then the output belt will be coming down here. And here. Up all the way to here. The question is, does that fit all on one side of the belt? The output will be 3, 2, and 1, so probably not. So let's merge them together. Actually, let's merge them up there. Oh, we barely can't make it. So be it. So here we have a lot of garbage that we're going to burn, but the important thing we want to keep is the sink grade 1. Sink grade 1. And that goes to the right, and everything on the left we burn. With some burners, I can make 3. How many do I need? I think we only may need 1. We need 2. So 2 burners. For all our burning needs. And what can they take as fuel? They can take wood as fuel. We can't just You can continue this belt and forget about the iron. Actually, on what side is the wood? The wood is on the inside here. So on the bottom side, which is a bit annoying, but we can make that work. Oh, that's in the way. Yeah, let's not worry about it. We just bring the bit of iron with us as fuel for the burners. One more up. Good. And then their ash output we just put that with the long-handed one. And we probably want to move them further to the right because we still have other inputs. What is the last input? We still get sand. We still get sand from the next step, the impact crushers. So we figured that out. All right, you need electricity, an actual connection. Then you are all ready to go. You're already crushing, you're just waiting for the iron sticks. So with the grade 1, let's go back to Yavk. The grade 1 goes into 3 impact crushers to give us grade 2 and sand, and the sand is also what we burn. So let's take these 3 impact crushers that have already been built. 1, 2, and 3. Then make sync grade 2 out of this here. How many do you take? 1 per second, so 2 mechanical. Then you output sand and grade 2. Let's remove this right now. So in this is like the dirty output. And this one won't exist anymore, right? This belt stops here, but we assume it is still there because we want the sink to continue to flow until we're ready to actually replace it. Let's also craft a few more splitters. Now the sand can go up onto this belt, and we have 0.25. So 1 inserter is enough. Now let's say the middle one inserts it on this side. And this is all we want to burn. So we can go up here then now. And use that as the lane for burning. And where are the burners? How much will that be? It's about 4 per second. Let's use all of them. Delete these. Go up 1 more. Insert this, and then the output here will be a long-handed inserter. Going back here with a splitter that has input priority right, so we burn the ash first. Good, now where do we put the good stuff? I think we can actually put all of it on this belt. How much does it output? 1.25. So we need 2 of them, but we remove the filter. And then here we just use a splitter that says input priority left, output priority left, and the filter is sand. No, that's the dirty thing. So output priority right is sync grade 2. There we go. Yeah, this is all the garbage we want to burn together. Good. Sync grade 2 now is put into 3 hydroclassifiers and with water to get us sync grade 3. So where are the hydroclassifiers? I did craft them, right? Are these the hydroclassifiers? No, these are the impact crushers. Oh, here they are. Found them. And we have 3 of these, which will do this. You still need power. Do this. In the middle goes the creosote that we're going to avoid. And we need some normal pipes. Right, are all the splitters down? I think so. We just need the 2 splitters in the bottom. Do we have 2 more splitters? We have 3 more. So we can insert them here to get the wood and to steal the iron. And voila, we're in business. We just need to build the inserters which are lacking iron. So we just steal. We still have simple circuit boards, that's good. So we just steal the iron here. And we make 20. Should be good for a minute. Right here, I see the wood coming in. And yeah, we're waiting for the first 5. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 18. In total, I made 20. So it should be fine. Now, we have this lane here. And how much do you need? 1.25. That's even too slow for for 1 yellow inserter, just by a smidge. We craft these, and the output will be sync rate 3. We might move that steel belt just a bit. It's not moving very fast, so I'm going to help it. Well, I'll help it when we're done setting up the other things. And are my bots out of power? Yep, they're out of power. We can fix that as well. Give the steel a bit more time. It's just around the corner. Speaking of, more inserters. Do we need belt? We need belt. We need undergrounds. We need pipes. Do we need underground pipes? No, we're good on those. Now to the a little bit annoying part, to get these out and refilled. Let's make empty fuel canister. We want like 20 more. Let's make 20 more and fill them up. Actually, what I can do is just dump them in here. It's much faster. There we go. And we can put them back into our machines here. So 20 go here, 3 go here, and the remaining ones go in here. We can already start filling these. So we have more of a buffer and we can go longer without refilling them. All right, a sip. Here we have the remaining ones. And then 3 there. I took all of them out because I misclicked. We still have 13 empty ones. Let's fill them. There we go. So how's it looking now? We have 25 in here, 25 in here. So take half, take the rest. Good. Now we have robots again, and hopefully all the supplies we need. I took a turn too early. Oh well. It happens. There we go. We got all the inserters. Need to power them. We don't even need that one. Oh yeah, we don't need this one at all. Perfect. Oh, we need it for this one. Good, all of these are working. They're all yellow, they're slightly backing up. We need a third one here. Right, they're outputting all the goods. And this side isn't working because the grade the first sync grade 2 at 101 hours and 40 minutes. We are still waiting for the iron sticks to make it around. And your output looks good. Now we burn all the stuff we don't like. The tier 2 comes in here. We still need water. Can make one of these. Once that's finished, these should be able to go. And a lot of the steel has drained as well. So the output here is 1.25. So again, a little too slow. A little too many for a blue inserter. Why are you not working? You haven't received any yet. Okay. And this is now grade 3. With the grade 3, we put it in the 5 advanced foundries to make molten zinc with also limestone, which we need 6 soil extractors for. It's more than 1-to-1, so otherwise I would have just put them there. But yeah, let's put the 5 advanced foundries down. I don't think we'll fit them in here nicely. Okay, they're already taking all of the sinks, so we remove this here. They're classifying and shaking and doing their thing. So let's remove this here. How much ash is in here? Way too much. You get banished to the Shadow Realm. And these will stay chest of shame forever here. Good, then all of this probably needs to go as well. I just tell the robots to clean it up. Except this. Let me get everything from the belt, otherwise it takes you like 2 billion years to clean that. And we're not gonna clean these out, because they're gonna be full of ash as well, which I'm not in the mood of dealing with. Yeah, look at that. An entirely full chest of ash. Not interested. these are full of stuff as well. So all that zinc ore we can throw into our new ones. And we are now stopped, but we're making up easily for that. There we go. We got rid of all of them. Now this one can actually move over quite a bit. Almost. So let them do their thing till they're full. And now we can plan all of these 5. They aren't too big, actually. We can maybe squeeze them in here, and we need to get rid of this here. We do that with one sinkhole. We already have one, so no need to make another one. And they can continue working. Now the steel needs to be reconnected, otherwise a surprise awaits us. One that we do not want to have. And if you make molten zinc, how much tier 3 do we actually have? We have 3 per second, and we need 2 per second limestone. So we make this a half-half belt. We put you in the output and you in the input. Perfect. And we can have the heavy oil up here. And molten zinc output here. That's probably more convenient. And you need around about 2 per second input. 1 per second input. 1.2. So these can do 1.4. And then we put this here on the bottom. And that looks to me like it's complete. Move these 2, and then we fit 5 here. That is our zinc output, by the way. And I'm gonna remove all of these here. I didn't have to, but oh well. In the end, it fit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we need 5. And this is just connected the wrong way. It needs to come over here. And we remove this. Oh no, we need one more. Now, why is there no heavy oil? We missed one in between. There we go. They have heavy oil, they're just missing a limestone. And where do we put the limestone? I think up here. We need 6 soil extractors, and I can make an absolute exact amount of 0. But speaking of steel, I can steal steel. Then we need a bunch of small parts and iron. Let's actually take the fast way down here. All right, and small parts. And we need 6. it makes 6. No, not shock crushes. Wrong ones. Soil extractors. Almost. I'm sure I need shock crushes again at some point. Where are you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cannot reach? What do you mean? All right, put those down. We need water. The steel is in the way again. Has a talent for that. And while we're waiting for these to craft, I'll take a quick break. Be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, I am back, and I totally forgot to put on some music today. So let's rectify that. Was too excited to get started with the sink and increase our sink plate production. You need to be all set to this and get some power. So why are you backing up? Okay, you're backing up for the good reason. Okay, no, only wood. Only wood. Whoops. We were voiding iron plates. Whoops. Happens if you're not careful. All right, here's limestone. And we should get molten zinc in a second. And where's my casting unit? Casting unit is ready for it. And of course, we're going to do with hot air. Oh, that's hot air, correct. And we're going to steal the hot air from all the way over there, the glass processing, because it's backed up anyway. So can we go all the way over here? Yes, we can. So let's plan that. One short of the water would fit perfectly. Actually, almost fits perfectly. And I see something that I really don't want to see there, and there's water in here. And now we have heavy oil again. Very good. I don't know where the water came from. Alright, I need to... First we do the inserter trick. It can do like 7.5 per second. We have 9, so we still need more anyway. So we need 2 more of these. Let's craft 2 more of these. Let's get some hot air. Did I plan with hot air here? I did. Oh, we need borax too. You need borax and sand castings. All right, stop on burning the sand. Changed my mind. Or is there even sand in here? Do we make sand? We make sand. Let's see if that sand is more than enough to make sand castings with 1 tar processing unit. Can we make said tar processing unit? All the icons moved, I never know where they are. Can make said tar processing unit, and it's ginormous. It has to go up here. Can it go down here? It can go down here as well. We also need to finagle the creosote in here, and this is output priority right. How do we do this? Okay, mind freeze. I want the sand to go out, and we have to squeeze that around a bit as well. More spaghetti! What else? So we want it to go here. Output priority right. No, output priority left. And otherwise you come back in here. No, you don't. You just do this. Perfect. All right, and you, I need to somehow squeeze through here. Very good. To make sand castings. Creosote. Where do we have creosote? Probably just straight below us. Poor 1 bot. Can we move the creosote up at any point in time? If not, now's the time. Oh. This is already taken. It's tight around here. Yep, continue going there. Okay, you just gave up. Not what I like. This is the hot air. So we go here, and then we just come down from the creosote. Spaghetti, but it's worth it. And then finish the hot air line. By the time you're there, I'm already placed them down. Sorry, bots. You're too slow. Cancel order, cancel order. There we go. Bye, Hector. Hector just left. All right. We should have molten sink plates now. Or sink plates that are made with molten sink. Much more efficient. Take a lot of inputs and a lot of work, but hopefully it pays off. So sand castings and borax. So you need power. Actually, these were connected. Just didn't reach. So you get sand castings. You need 0.25 per second, so 1 is fine. Oh, needs to go 1 higher. And borax is already somewhere up here, right? This is borax. Yeah, I already prepared for... was it zinc? I don't know what I prepared borax for. Oh, it was aluminium. Yeah, I prepared for aluminium and then we decided to move it somewhere else. But we can use it for this purpose now. Just perfectly fine. And what are you out of? Sand, yeah, because we just need to kickstart this. This may have broken because we avoided the sand. I mean, no, there's plenty of sand in here. Let's see if it can kickstart itself. That would be nice. We produce way more sand than we need for the sand castings. So as soon as a few plates go through, it should be fine. All right, we're ready. Casting sink plates with molten sink. Perfect. Yeah, it does produce more now, but over time it's gonna be lower. Let's make sure the output is always at peak output. And I need to do this the other way around. Is this not connected? Oh, I moved it too far away. Now it's working. Look at those masses of plates coming out. It's still not enough. How much do you make? 15 per second? So this should be 7.5. I'm not sure if this is stacked fully. Because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, a little bit too slow. We can add 1 more here. But we're not going to make that much anyway. We're going to make 9 per second on average. So it's going to be fine. And yeah, there we go. Sink plates from molten sink. And that to do is this done, tap geothermals, expanded the labs, and T2 sink locally is done. So now we have plenty of aromatics now again, I think. Yeah, we're out of light oil and now we're also out of aromatics again. How's our tar looking? I don't know what that fluctuation was. Well, now we certainly need more aromatics because we're processing zinc so quickly. Hey Garibold, how you doing? What power are we using by now? We use the power of luck and finding geothermal water. So if you look at geothermal water, we just found another one here, but I have these 3 tapped. I found 2 more here. There's one here, and there's one here that I haven't tapped, but I have tapped these 3. There's 2 down here, these 4. There's another one showing up here, and the one on top, and the one here. So we have 10 geothermal water power stations that give us around 1 gigawatt of power. And then, you know, this back down here can still provide a bit of power. It doesn't have to, but it still does. And so we're now at already using 600 megawatts, which is crazy. Like how fast we got to 600 megawatts. We like tripled it in the last like, I don't know, 30, 40 hours. But we have about 1 gigawatt guaranteed available. And the 400 megawatts are kind of like, you know, including all the abandoned stuff like, you know, these here that will never work again. So I should probably deconstruct them. But we have around 1 gigawatt. I'm completely certain that we can support that. And it just finished zinc from molten, zinc plates from molten zinc, which is awesome. That should give us like a good throughput of copper zinc batteries and the other fancy batteries. And that is the latest achievement. Now we need more aromatics for said zinc, and I know there's a recipe that lets us make aromatics from tar directly. And I think we're gonna look at that one for now. That's Nexilid plate. But just give me aromatics in general. Okay, here we go. We can use tar in a DDC to get rich clay, flue gas, carbon dioxide, and aromatics. I don't see our rich clay moving at all, so I think we're gonna burn the rich clay, void the flue gas and the carbon dioxide for now, and use all the aromatics. And I'm gonna use 2 DDCs for that. We might drain our tar completely. Maybe let's start with 1 and see how the tar behaves. And well, aromatics are right here. No, aromatics are down there. So we do have tar down here somewhere. Is there an aromatics line that is incoming down here? Not really, so we have to put a second aromatics line down. But we have tar here, and under the first aromatics line, we can probably put the second one. Where's the DDC? Here. And we do this. Get the tar from up here. Vent the flue gas. Actually, we do that with the pipes so we can copy it over. And actually, the flue gas we do on the bottom. Yeah, these are weird. Can we rotate it so aromatics are on the bottom and tar is on the top? We can. And that's perfect. This goes here to be voided. We'll just put a exhaust pipe right above. And then flue gas is the only one that ideally we don't have it all the way up there. Another exhaust pipe here for flue gas. These actually mirror, so we can put 2 together. And then the aromatics we do here. And here they go down, and let's make some text plates actually. Say this way and that way. Just put the aromatics line right under the other one. And hopefully we make it all the way through here. Nope. We do not. Does this span across? It does. We have to come up here. And go above, and then soon below again. Above again. Absolute spaghetti. Why do you connect these? I hate you. Stop doing that. It loves to do that, that it just connects these instead of jumping over it when it fits. There we go. And don't tell me there's anything but aromatics in there. Good, more aromatics. We have to see how much tar this is using. 140 per second, that's quite a bit. These use 20, so yeah, this one is going through tar like crazy. And then we need to output, I don't think we have the production from, I'm just gonna directly put a burner there. I don't think we're ever gonna have a second one. And somewhere here is coke to use as fuel. We burn our ash. And then here, give me some of your precious coke. Like, our coke is really low. Shouldn't there be a full belt coming? Oh, a lot of it goes down here now for... Is that iron? Oh, a lot goes to actually burning all the stuff from iron processing. We're actually backed up. Yeah, we need fast inserters down here. Interesting. Let's fix that. Without us running into 200 pipes. And can we craft a bunch of them? Let's craft 20. Good. Well, good that we saw that. It's going to use a ton of... Oh my god, how many am I going to hit? It's using a ton of coke. But also it's not burning it fast enough when we're actually using 15 a second of iron. So let's upgrade these. And they should be able to handle it. The burners, yeah, the burners are really fast. Now that's looking better. And are we really using that much coke here? No, we're using coke for something else, right? Yeah, for the basic oxygen furnaces. They use a lot of coke. I shouldn't use coke for that. I should use raw coal for that, to be honest, because coke is too valuable for just burning it here. Do you need coke? You need coke. So we just need to stop doing that. We don't need these miners down here. So what we're gonna do is get a raw coal line down here. That should alleviate some pressure on the coke. We're gonna steal from one of these, I think. So actually, we're not gonna go that far up. Oh, stop that. Yeah, we go over here. You know what we can use? all the coal dust that we haven't been using for forever, or just the raw coal. The downside with the coal dust is it's gonna run out, and we can use it for activated carbon. Can I squeeze through here? I can squeeze through here. Kinda, not really. Output priority right. I guess we can squeeze through here. There we go. Okay, and these get coal dust, but don't put coal dust on here. Wait, why? I went on the wrong lane. Never mind. Don't mind me. This lane. Everything is fine. You can store a bit of raw coal. It's okay. So all the coal dust should come in here now and should be put in this lane. And we shouldn't continue filling up everything with coal dust. There's still space here, so it's fine. Okay, can I have a... give me 2 chests. Or 4. Let's do some moving. There we go. And here, keep a chest of shame. Burn all that raw coal. Alright, these make it a little faster. And this should be a high percentage of coal dust now, and that's fine if we burn that down there. It has less megajoules than coke. Do we produce ash here? We do produce ash here that we need to burn. We have to look how the ash looks because we will produce more ash now. Where's my car? All the way down there, okay. So we have to check if we now produce too much ash. Because that could be the case as well, which would be unfortunate. We can always put down another burner, there's enough space for that. I'm actually gonna move this out here. Why? Especially while there's nothing on it, because we can always fit another burner here. If we need to. Yeah, you're out of fuel, but everything's out of fuel. You don't need... yeah, you can take coal dust as well. You're gonna be fine. Oh, you had a bunch of ash in it. Oh, okay. Oh, because it was backing up. That's why it has so much on it. I was like, why do you have so much ash on it? Yeah, we have different offsets, right? Yeah, only one side was backed up. You have the inside offset. Yeah, you have the inside offset. Now, there we go. All of these are firing up again. Now let's watch for the ash production. Oh, the inserters aren't fast enough. That is kind of annoying. We do have space for more inserters. Not everywhere, because we have the power poles in the way. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. They like are slightly behind. They always have like a 100 millisecond pause. It's probably still gonna end up being like, you know, 14.5 per second. But that is the biggest downside of using this fuel. But the coke is just too valuable for the acetylene and stuff like that. So we just do that. And how we're looking with the ash. It's looking good. It looks like everything is being dealt with before it even reaches the last one. So I think we're good. Even with burning raw coal and coal dust, yeah, the biggest downside is that we have these mini breaks in between here because the fuel just doesn't last long enough. We would have to burn one of the other coal ones. Fuel value. Coarse coal. Yeah, we would have to get to coarse coal and send that down because that has by far the highest value because it's 10 megajoules instead of 5 for coke. And we have it unlocked, or will unlock it very soon. Yeah, we are researching it right now. But research has stopped. So why did research stop? You're missing animal sample and you're missing plasmids, classic. And we're missing plasmids because we're missing lab equipment. We're missing lab equipment because we miss rubber. Really? Yeah, polybutadiene depends on aromatics, I think, right? Yeah, polybutadiene is aromatics. And we're very short on aromatics. And plastic uses it too, and we use it for our antimony. So maybe it's time to scale tar. Wait, you're full on aromatics. How? Wait, is that no input? No, it is. It's 0. Oh, this one doesn't connect? My God. Alright, this looks good. Let's drive back to aromatics and fix that. And yeah, we might have to do our first train excursion in being just getting a coal mine set up and then getting more tar from coal. Yeah, saw that coming. Oh, we're already here. Perfect. Good. Yeah, if you would actually connect, that would be great. So you're producing 40 per second. And for reference, how much do you want to consume? 100 per second. Yeah. Let's look at tar. We produce 17,000 per minute, but we also use 17,000 per minute. Does that include voiding? It probably includes voiding. Yeah, it's already draining. 38k, 37. So this is already draining the tar. And we need even more aromatics. So what other ways do we have to get to aromatics? We can do this. We can get it from black liquor for aromatics and acetone. What are we doing with the black liquor right now? It's just so far away. Where's fiberboard? Yeah, we just drain it. And how much would that produce? 2 per second, so 4 black liquor per second. It's just not worth it. It is such a minimal amount. We would never see anything from that. And the other thing is light oil, aromatics, and gasoline. That's what we're doing right now. Oleochemicals. High distillates, that's coming. Lignin. Biomass and refined syngas. Very expensive on the hydrogen. Releases and Fauge. Interesting. Where does that come? Sulfur processing. I think it's easier just to get tar. To be honest, get tar. Use this recipe. And the flue gas we could potentially convert into ash if we needed. Carbon dioxide. Yeah, if we're on the train network, we can make a global carbon dioxide thing and just have one place to make it and then distribute it. Because, I mean, it's not free. Like, coke isn't difficult to come by, and coke never has been an issue, but, you know, we might as well do a carbon dioxide central station where we make the carbon dioxide, and anything that doesn't want the carbon dioxide, we just ship it there. Same with flue gas. We ship flue gas there. Some things want flue gas, so we store a bunch there. And when it's too much, we make ash out of it. And once that ash overflows, we make the other parts out of it, right? We sort it and then ship those out. And then we have something that smelts those iron oxide things. We have something that sorts the soot and provides that as separate ores. And at some point, you know, maybe every 50 hours, we're going to get a full train full. But, you know, that's not the point. And then next lip plate, olefins and water. That's actually the next one. Gives us a lot out of 2 next lip plates. How do we make olefins? So out of 4 next lip plates and 400 hydrogen and 200 carbon dioxide. That's a lot of CO2. That's 100 carbon dioxide per second and 200 hydrogen per second. That is expensive in the energy. We get olefins, but olefins we can also get by nichrome and shale oil. Not much cheaper. That's a byproduct. Next to that, refined syngas. That is unlocked very late. That's also very late. Yeah, tholins are even later. So realistically, we need a lot of hydrogen and a lot of carbon dioxide. We could get some carbon dioxide here, right, to lessen the blow of CO2. But hydrogen, what makes hydrogen as side product en masse? Because that's something that would be nice. Make zinc chloride. Make 50 hydrogen. 220. Yeah. So that's 20 per second, so we need 10 electrolyzers. No, 20 electrolyzers at... how much do they use? At 10 megawatt each? It's casual 200 megawatts for olefins. and then to convert them into aromatics, it's not worth it. It's just much easier to get more tar. Do this recipe, we even get free CO2, we get flue gas and rich clay. What can we do with the rich clay? Except science. Self-assembly monolayer material. Oh my god, that gives me PTSD. Used in, we can make bricks from sand and rich clay. So that's good. Sand is stone and rich clay is a side product. We need it for science. Yeah, it's not a big deal. Arsenic is very late. Sungror is very late. Kickout Gen 2. Oh, once we have a Mark II, do we have the same for Rauk? Do I just need to get a few of the really rare ones? Yeah, once we have a Rauk Mark II, I can grow them. I don't need to gamble anymore. So that's good to know. Right now, we are gambling a little bit with the excess. Like when these are in excess, we gamble with it. You're full of empty barrels. Well, that's bad. You kind of need a bypass for your empty barrels. So you can work when we're actually full. Let's fix that next. All right, this is working. It's draining our tar. Aromatics are, you know, we're not at 0, but they're looking very dire indeed. Yeah, molten salt power. I looked at that. I even looked at making coke oven gas. And with the coke that we produce out of there, run a coke power plant. Or specifically 8 coke power plants that then make us 500 megawatts. So that is something I looked at. Speaking of looking at and fixing things, I need more composters. I need titanium and steel for that. Because we are full on animal products. And what are we missing? Intermetallics, really? Thank God we're swimming in intermetallics. We have like a full backed up belt, which is good. Speaking of, are you working again? Yeah, you're full. It just was delivered, but it doesn't last very long. We would have to scale up our production of workers' food, which may be something we can do. It takes care of a lot of... does it take meat? It may take meat. I actually don't know. Fuck, I wanted to craft this. Yeah, intermetallics. How much iron do I have? Decent amount. Here, intermetallics. Only one? What am I missing? Simple circuit boards? Oh, they're expensive. Rip science. How are we looking? Bad. You haven't produced anything in the last 10 minutes. But our zinc supply should be great now, so these should be running again. Yeah, so you are short on Formica. Why are you short on Formica? You need more sap. Okay, so we need to scale saps a bit more. Do we still make trees? Probably not. Let me kick that off. Small parts. How many do we have? 3. I think we need more. Let's make 4. There you go. What are we short on? Iron. Scrap more iron. All right, you can make 2 more depending on how it looks. Speaking of, right, planter boxes. Let's grab all the planter boxes we can. I did store them here somewhere. Oh, where was the L planter box thing? Here? Here it is. 135. Why are you no longer making them? What are you out of? wood. Oh yeah, that would make sense. All right, last 135 planter boxes that we got made automatically and don't have to steal from science. And that's another, I think, 135 trees, which is like 60 plantations more. And we already have 113, so that's already 60. We need to scale this though, and we don't really have space here. Oh, we can squeeze through here and try to expand down here if we want. How much does it take to make those? Mostly soil. All right, let's do one thing at a time. First, fix the Raux, because that is blocked permanently, and we just need one of these. It's a 0.5% chance, but if we're not using the Raux X anyway, right, and we have the production, go use it, right? If we're blocked on slaughtering Raux because we have, well, in this case, it might be too much meat and not formic acid, which is the sad part, which I'm going to address afterwards. They have blocks it too. But I'm going to work on that later. We should use the Raux eggs to try to get Raux 2s, and once we have one Raux 2, we can breed them, which is awesome. Instead of having to gamble on them. Right, almost there. The base is so long. All right, how do we do this? There we go. Better.
On most night, I'm just wearing my pajamas, staying up too late, 'cause I'm watching Futurama, thinking where's my drama?
This is complicated. I really want to move this one all the way back here already. So this is just the side one now. And this is the main one. Hi, Hector. Kitty's stopping by, saying hi. And Kitty needs to get off the desk. All right, that should fix a little bit. You take these 38. That should work now. Yeah, we don't even need this anymore, but you know, whatever. It's actually working pretty fast. Make another one.
Far from my mistakes.
See if that's fast enough. Should be.
Too much way, ay, ay. So my bed is where I stay. Tell the clouds that I say hey.
Yep, that's fast enough now. Now give me the route mark 2. Come on. It's the try. No, it wasn't a try. It has finished 39 products, so not that many. Expected is, I think, 200. Yeah, 200 is expected. But yeah, we could get there. And hopefully get one soon. But yeah, we're blocked on the meat. So let's fix that with a bunch more composters. What are you using? Yeah, guts is good to get rid of them. Lard and skin, they're not as much a problem. Meat is really the problem. Yeah, I could set up a siren, I think. Are there? How are they called? Oh, here they are. Programmable speaker. Let's put one down. Programmable speaker. Circuit connection if anything is greater than 0. Show alert. Route mark 2. Does it only do it once? Yeah, that's fine. There we go. Ding! All right. We have an alarm. It would be nice if that one would pop up anytime soon, especially now that we're still blocked with the meat. Yeah, I didn't expect them to be that slow. All right, remove all of these. How you called? Gas refinery. Excuse me? Okay, you need like 0.33. Oh my god. I have some on me? Yeah. I have a feeling we need a lot more than these. So that's 1.6 per second. How much do you produce? 0.3, 0.5, 0.6 per second. Yeah, we need a lot more. It also produces a lot of biomass. Biomass, 10 biomass in 2 seconds, 10 biomass, yeah, we don't need hot air. How much can you deal with? 5 per second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you produce 1 per second, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's 5 per second. So this stack is exactly enough, but it only takes care of 1.6 per second. So we need like, we probably need to like flip it around and go horizontal and put like a few of them there. And just split them up. Yeah, because 1.6 per second is not a lot. Are they even doing 1.6 per second? Okay, and you need faster exerters, okay. Yeah, it's 1 per second, right? Yeah. Yeah, now it's going. Good, you should be able to keep up as well. And then, yeah, I think it's time to take these, put them horizontal. Scale, biomass, animal, product, destruction. All right, tar direct into aromatics, we did that. But honestly, I'm gonna keep that up. Yeah, we fixed this. Right, but I think the next thing that we're gonna work on is expanding tar on trains. Or maybe we should fix this first, huh? It's very expensive to do these. I mean, can I also just start burning the meat? Can I do that? Does it have a fuel value or something? Why are you not working? Oh, because you're full? Waiting for source items. Yeah, you're full. That's why. Shouldn't this be 5 per second and you can handle 5 per second? Yeah, 5 per second, you can handle 5 per second. Okay. Yeah, I know I can compost them, but these only work when we actually have like an excess of these. So, I mean, I guess we could say we always have an excess of these, right? Because we continue producing them. Yeah, we could shove them into power plants. That's true. We still need all the composters, and then we could have these gas refineries afterwards, right? After the power plants. The problem is, I don't know if we can rely on this to be always running. I mean, right now it seems like we can rely on it. Like we make X amount of meat, and guts are probably full as well. No, they're not even full. I guess we use it to make food. Brains are not full. Yeah, meat is really the biggest issue. Maybe we do. What is the supply of the production of meat right now. It makes 70 a minute pretty consistently. So yeah, that probably can power a biomass power plant. Let's look into Yafk. Let's see what that gives us. Meat, power. Minus 70 per minute. And production recipe is biomass. So we need 4 composters for what we produce just for meat. Like just for meat. That gives us powder biomass. We need to go over electricity. Electricity generating. From my high pressure steam turbine. Oh, how can I make it? Oh, yeah, production recipe. I was like, this, I skipped over that completely. 200 molten salt, and we make the molten salt by a biomass power plant, and we use biomass. And we have 3.5, so that's like what? Okay, we can make 15 megawatts from meat alone. So I don't know, I think if we put all of that together, we probably can make 2 power plants full of stuff. So we could do that, 2 biomass power plants with molten salt. Because how many... What's with all the other animal products? We probably produce way less of them. Lard is 13 per minute. Meat is 70 per minute. Guts is 42 per minute. So meat is by far the biggest one, and they can make like 30 megawatts, which is not nothing. You mean Yafk? Journal program. They can download to plan your base. Come on, Nightbot. And there you go. Did my stream just drop? I had no frames dropped on my side, but my preview kind of buffered. Hopefully it's fine. All right, so I guess that is what we do next. We need to put these sideways. So how much can they deal with? This is just meat. I can do 1.6 per second. So we could move this over just under the meat. None of the other ones are. So this should actually be keeping up with how much meat we make. So right now we can just leave it running as this, and as long as none of the other ones overflow, we're good. But eventually we want to have this fixed to maybe power 4 of these power plants. The thing is, it's not guaranteed power, which is kind of the annoying part, but you know, it does get rid of the biomass. The other thing is the power plants won't run on full capacity, so we could get rid of the high power steam instead of the biomass, so we always burn the biomass and the steam is then voided if it's not used. We can do that with an overflow valve. And so Yeah, let's maybe take a look at that. So biomass power plant, central animal processing. 3 power plants. All right. Let's plan for that. So how much is 1 power plant being able to handle? 1 power plant is okay, 57. Right, so 57 megawatts per power plant, and it can take 12 biomass per second. In order to make 12 biomass per second, let's link this up. We need, so we need 13 composters. We have 5 right now, I think. Or do we have 6? We have 5, so we need 8 more. That's gonna be expensive to craft these, but let's see. And no, don't put these belts down. It's a futile effort. So that's 1 biomass power plant. Can we make a single biomass power plant? That's the next question. Needs 100 simple circuit boards. Yuck. Let's make the composters first because we can get rid of stuff. We also still need to make molten salt. How do we make molten salt? Okay, just out of 300 salt. Oh, and a buff. That's annoying. Maybe have to make that in a basic oxygen furnace. I mean, we can just put one down, make the molten salt. Let's add that as a to-do. Make molten salt. And do we put it in barrels? I don't know. We could pipe. I mean, we could just try to make molten salt on site and. Where is salt? This salt we tapped, and this is the closest to where we want to be. There's salt out here, and more salt up here. Yeah, there's none that's like too convenient. Yeah, let's just go with this one. We could... Hector. We could take the salt here, put a basic oxygen furnace there, and make the molten salt, and then create a long pipe that goes over here to fill it up, and then deconstruct the pipe, and then just move it where we need it next. It's a pain. We'd also put that on trains, but all these rails just to get to the salt, and then we have to still bring it back, right? We can't just just because it's in a train wagon doesn't mean we can just put it anywhere. So we'll figure it out. We either go with barreling it. Can we even barrel it? We cannot. So we have to put it into a pipe anyway, run that pipe to where we want it. So let's make a basic oxygen furnace, and we need fuel for it to run as well. I think we can just automate that at that point. So we have cold molten salt available, and build a tank for it as well. We have no lead, huh? Yeah, no lead plates. Are we out of lead plates soon? Or are we gonna be out of lead plates anytime soon? Because then, please reserve some for me. Yeah, why were we running out of lead again? You have acetylene. I think we just need to double. Is it already on our to-dos? Yeah, lead mining drills V2. We probably want to move that here because it's an easy win to do that. And then biomass power plant. We have to make molten salt first, so let's move that up. We have a buff. We need a storage tank. We don't need a huge amount, like 40 KL is fine, 40,000 liters. I need a ton of these. 300 is fine. Inserters, we have plenty. Belts, let's fill up to the standards. Undergrounds, okay. Let's go on our molten salt journey. And actually this time I'm going to bring coal instead of coke. That belt is probably also neglected for forever somewhere in here. That I hate when I accidentally hit H and it turns around the belt. And then nothing works anymore. Okay, it's still going here. Is this still done? Yeah. Oh, it goes pretty far. Does it go to the salt? Yeah, it goes all the way to the salt. Perfect. Salt is where aluminium ore is. Or where, cyanic acid? Yeah, cyanic acid, I think it's called. Is so we want to go up here and bring it with us. Yeah, that looks good. I love when I can just drag it through it and know it's going to be on the right spot. Good, let's put the basic oxygen furnace down. If I can find it, here it is. Make molten salt and you take 10 per second, so also as much as you can. You produce ash too. Of course you do. I mean, that's the case for the storage bin. Are you working? Oh my god, you need a lot. 300 salt for 100 molten salt. Wait, it comes out at 1000 degrees? But it's just molten salt, not hot molten salt. Interesting. The storage container goes right against it. Can you finish once already? Yeah, it should put it into the tank, right? Oh, you can't even... Yeah, you can't use inserters. That's as fast as it goes. And you hear it stopping immediately. That's so annoying. That even this doesn't let you extract a full 10 and something per second. So you finished and there's nothing in here. What? There we go, 100. What do you mean inserted on the side? You mean for the salt mine? Oh, I see what you mean, like this. Yeah. I think it's still the same. Yeah, it's still the same. It doesn't go faster because of that. You still see it stop. So it can't do faster than the... I think this is 7.5 per second. Yeah, sadly it doesn't go faster. But yeah, good try. I wasn't aware of putting it that way. But yeah, sadly same outcome. Or maybe it is a bit faster. But why would it stop otherwise then? I don't know. Yeah. I understand what you meant. No idea. Alright, it takes a long time to make this molten salt. Good that I brought a container, a tank to contain it. Do we just put it on the bus? It's a long way. Alright, let's get started. Yeah, it could be that they changed it in 2.0. But yeah, I remember I saw that too, and I saw train unloaders do that. So yeah, maybe those are not working faster than just normal unloading onto a belt either anymore. More pumps. Can I make more? Yeah, let's make more. Thank God we have power here. And if that distance kind of stays the same, we should have power next time we need a pump as well, close. Now let's bring the molten salt to where we want to build our power plant. Yeah, it's not ideal to have that as a global molten salt provider, but oh well. This is where we can go down, right? Let's go down right next to the acetylene. Wait, we have stone bricks. Why are we putting stone bricks on here? Oh, right, I inserted it here. Got it. Alright, it's marked that this is taken. Hopefully I see that and remember that. If not, oh well. All right, we have molten salt here. I think we can leave it like this, but it looks ugly. But then again, it's the best way to do it. Just have it all collect and go one side so we can move it to the side, I guess. That's gonna be a lot of stuff in my inventory. I already can see it. Oh yeah, the stack. Yo, yeah, I remember. Like the stacking could be working with